Had dreams last night. Lot of dreams. Two dreams, or it's not a lot. I guess it's just two. It's two dreams. Turn this light up down and turn the sun down. Turn the sun down. The first dream. It's what's weird about it is like I think I know where I'm at. I'm somewhere strange. Like the first one is like somewhere above Houston, Conroe, or some weird shit like that. Something like that. Somewhere like that, but not there specifically. And I'm at this place that's like next to where they have a shop, and the shop. The fuck is that? I'm got attacked by a bug, motherfucker. If I knew, blast his ass. Fall on my head, son of a bitch. They try to hide in my window cover, and then scatter when I move it, and I have to race to murder them, and I can't do that right now. So it was a like a motorcycle shop, but like for these these group of people that was like it was like a fucking soap opera or some shit. Like people would watch, women would watch, and they had some sort of tragedy that happened to them years before. So like they were all coming back together, and I'm just watching this shit. I don't know any of these people, and they're like they're like fucking Indonesian or some sort of strange, um, very specific like islanders or something. They all ride crotch rockets. There was some sort of tragedy that they went through, so they were coming back, and it was like watching them go. It was like watching a show that you didn't know anything about. And it was very fucking weird. It was very fucking weird. At the end of it, with the end of the dream, oh, you gonna die, dude. Crawling around. You're too big to be free in my home, motherfucker. I can't risk you living your life. Don't you dare fall on the floor. You're gonna go, buddy. Wow! Get the fuck out of here. Got him. Got him. Thumped that motherfucker way the hell away. At least you can count on bugs not knowing where their home is. They think this is home. It's not their home. Some lady brought some damn piece of fucking broken refrigerator over trying to give it to us, loaded with bugs. We didn't have a single fucking bug here at all. The gift that keeps on giving. So we're on the roof, and it's like one of them. They keep coming out, like getting out of a hatch where you crawl up to get onto a roof, and it's like these Indonesian or strange Islander, Puerto Rican, something weird. All these people, but then one of their friends is this white guy. He's like the only white guy that is in their group, and he's wearing like parachute clothes. He's wearing a neon this, bright yellow that, orange neon fucking cap on his head, and I just start going off on his ass. For whatever reason, that for me that was I had too much in the dream. In the dream, I did. I was like, "What in the fuck are you?" It's like you fucking bitch ass mother. Like I was fucking unloading on him, trying to provoke him. I don't know why, what that means exactly, what it was about. I have no idea. I really don't know because it didn't. There wasn't that much context other than there was no context for me. I got what was going on with these people, and I could see that, but I had no idea why I was there. Why? What is the point of me being here? Why do I have to be part of this? I don't want nothing to do with this. And it was like all the drama. One of them was, the girl and the boy that used to be with the girl, and now she's crying because she sees Hector or whatever the fuck was going on. It was like it was like a fucking women's fucking soap opera show, and it was like it's worse than having to watch it because like you're having to live it. And I was trying to get the fuck away, and getting the fuck away. The last means to that, for whatever dreamer awareness lucidity I had, was cussing this fucking dude out. Then I woke up, but then I went right back to sleep. The next dream that I had, I was somewhere in like Kima or somewhere above Kima. It's always above. And me and my father were doing some job. This was like be like the last job we did before he was no longer doing nothing because he was going into the hospital at the same time as the person we were doing the job for, and it was some lady. She was like a cow. She was like a horse lady or something like that. I would say cowgirl, but that didn't really it doesn't really fit. It's kind of like a mix of this lady that we did just work for, but kind of not really, but maybe to some degree. And this lady, like me and my dad talked to her, and we were doing something. It was like we were building a fence, which is the worst fucking thing in the world. I hate fencing anything. I hate it. I do. I do. If I have to do that, I have to do it with somebody that I really want to help them because like I don't fucking like doing that at all. It's something symbolic about it being I don't know. Well, this lady, we would go to work. Me and my dad were in this blue truck. Andres was there. Andreas would sit in the truck while we would go to work, and I don't understand that at all. The lady, every time we would go to this job, the that she was about to go to the hospital. Like the ambulance was coming to pick her up and like leave with her. And like in the dream, it happened twice. The second time, um, all the like all the nurses, all the paramedics, all the people that would do medical shit to come with them when they come and get you at a like ambulance were all trans people, and they were telling me she doesn't like you because you don't like us. That's why she's dying. She doesn't like you. She's tired of your shit, listening to y'all's intolerance and all this shit. And I know that this was because of this show that I was listening to. It was a dad talking about his son. He had a wife that was like a pediatrician or a fucking I don't know what she was, but she was in the medical profession. And he had twins, and she started transitioning his twins, the boy, and it was a clear sign of the woman would tell the boy to get in. She would put him against the wall, her son, and she would tell him, uh, "The monster's going to eat you if you're a boy. Monsters eat boys; they don't eat girls." She was making him be a girl. He would only be a girl around his mom. His mom was the one that wanted it, and the dad was horrified. The dad was trying to save his son. I don't know how old this kid is, but it started when the kid was like 2. Real fucked up. A real clear case of this bitch is crazy, and she's doing this Munchausen by proxy shit to her fucking little boy, and she was going to chemically castrate him at 8. She had already planned. Now the dad was a boxer. His dad was a boxer and good at it, real good. That's what the guy did. He was a boxer. How did he get with this crazy ass fucking doctor lady? Um, I don't know. I didn't hear any of that. but I heard enough about it to where, and she took the kids. She divorced him immediately as soon as he wasn't interested in that shit. She was done with him, and whatever she had going on that was a psychological fucking mental case shit, she was doing to her one son, which is one of the two twins, and they were having the school help because the school got shut down. But the dad would take his son to the school in boy clothes, and as soon as they got there, the school would take him and change him into a dress, a boy. And the boy didn't like it. The boy told him. He hired a lawyer. This is up in Dallas by Frisco. There's a place by Dallas called Frisco. So he's up there. He hired a lawyer who burned him, did a year investigating on the whole thing. The kids interviewed everybody, and he omitted the whole issue of the kid being a girl and this going on at all. He lied about it. But they did find out, but he cost him a lot of problems, and he cost him a lot of the um, possessory rights that he needed and was fighting for, to where the mom got to take him to California. So I don't know if it got resolved or not. But listening to this was so horrible, you know. And in my dream, it transferred into that because like we were going to do a job, and this lady was like that lady, except you couldn't tell. You didn't know she thinks this way. You didn't know that she would want these things and she would do it. And she would do it because it did something for her that fulfilled something. Like if you're going to do that to someone else, a kid, you're going to tell them they don't have the idea themselves. The kid did not want it. The kid didn't fucking have any desire to be a female, and his mom was putting him in the corner, saying the monsters was going to eat him if he was a boy, and shit like that. And then starting to fucking transition his ass. The dad's horrified. The son actually told the dad that he didn't want to do that, but his mom does. That mom doesn't love me if I'm not a girl. And it was fucking so fucked up and sad in a way, and of like just that feeling of helplessness for this fucking situation that you feel if you ever fucking hear that. But some people don't give a shit. But like if you know how a parent can do a kid real fucking fucked up when they're fucked up in the mind, and like they want them to do something like that. Because my mom would always try to fucking put me, she would try to do all that shit to me because something's wrong with her. There was something wrong with her, but none of it stuck. None of it stuck. My dad knew it. He wasn't able to do anything about it, but mostly because my mom was fucked up. My grandmother spent more time with me. My grandmother was not fucked up. She she had her problems, and her problems resulted in my mom because like she was married in the 50s and left her husband and then went off with this guy that's really the grandpa, my grandpa, and like lived with him for a whole year. She already had two kids, two sons, and she burned off on the grandpa that I thought was my grandpa the whole time, my whole life. My mom thought it was her dad until she was 18, and she didn't never know that she had a different dad, which was sort of fucked up because everybody knew except her. Like my my grandpa that the one she left was named Dewey. His name was Dewey. Dewey was not my biological grandfather, so he was not her dad. He had family, and the family was mean to my mom because obviously um, she's an out of wedlock kid, and in that time, that's you don't have that going on in the same degree as you do like now. You know, back then people didn't do shit. The 50s people didn't do the crazy shit in the relationship that came after that, like in the 60s and the 70s, it started to get different. They were married. He wasn't. He was in the Navy, but he didn't. He was a little younger and didn't go to World War II. Now, the grandpa that I do have, that's my biological grandfather, and I never met him. This guy named Lucky. Lucky was like a 7 foot tall Marine, blonde haired German motherfucker, and handsome, but he was a psychopath. He was a sociopath, and he was fucking charming, and he got her ass. He got her. He fucking got grandma. They're now. There are mixed accounts that say that she married him during that year and then divorced him and then went back to Dewey, which was a normal, decent fucking guy. Nothing, not spectacular, not a fucking Romeo, but he was her dude and he loved my grandma. He loved her. Very soft spoken, little dude. He was small. He had some Indian in him, so he was dark. But my mom, I guess, when she was in high school and they were doing like blood test stuff, see if what's your blood, is it A or B or whatever. She found out then because her blood type didn't add up with her parents because she was O negative or whatever the hell I am, and it came from this guy. This guy bit a dude's throat out like a dog in a fight and like killed him. They put him in the nut hut and electroshocked his ass, all kinds of shit. But he survived all that. He at some point there was a big court case because he shot into the bar trying to kill them, tried to kill my grandma by shooting a fucking sniper rifle into a goddamn fucking little bar that people were going to at the time. I don't know what year it was. It might have been in the early 60s. It might have been something like that. But you got to figure, if my mom was born in 55, it's the 50s then. It's got to be the 50s. So this is the 50s shit. I don't know nothing. See, my grandmother never, she wasn't never going to say this. I remember being sitting there with her the last time, and this is one of those things because for whatever reason, I don't know why I thought, I was like, this is her shot. She can tell me or she can not tell me. And I expected her at some point in time because of how close we were that she would come out with this and let me know. She never did. And it made me mad. It made me mad at her because I saw how human she was. As you grow, you realize your parents are just the same fucking pieces of shit as everyone else. But when you're a kid, you idolize your parents. You see them in some sort of different light because they're your parents. You know what I mean? Any concept of what do you think about God and the universe and stuff that is, you look at your parents like that because that's just the way our minds work. You know what I mean? You think they're more than they are. And that's when that realization occurred to me in regards to my grandma because she never said a fucking word. And I was so upset and mad at her for just keeping that shit to herself, not letting me know that, hey, you got a whole nother line of family that's, you know, it's almost like they're disconnecting you from your actual bloodline. And I never met the guy. Now, I never met the guy, but I have had some experiences because at this place here, I think my dad may have met him. My dad was the one that told me about this. He told me about this when I was young so that I didn't have my mom fuck me over with this information all bum 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 because he knew that's what she was going to do. And you know what? He was fucking right. He was right. And when it happened, like when my mom was going to go and when she was going to tell me this information, it was in such a way as it would have fucked me up. It would have been a fucking curveball to the motherfucking face. I don't remember all the details, but it was. was very much that way. Not sensitive, not considering. It was definitely meant to be devastatingly news. And my dad saved me from that. He told me straight up. He gave me the story. I was like 9. He gave it to me young too. He did not get to do very much in my early life, but because he did that and he was wise enough to know how to do that because he came out with it. I remember there was a place that he lived, and it's right over here in LBA. They had this house. I guess all these crazy motherfuckers came from Houston, you know, and they're selling drugs and they're doing crazy shit. He had a friend named Don. Don Perry was this big fat greasy. This guy is a fucking pervert, swindling, con artist motherfucker. Always trying to get some fucking shit going on. This guy was wild. He was an older guy than my dad, but he was like the ringleader of a group of younger kids that he had all enamored and all that shit. Not entirely a bad guy. I remember Don, but they had this house over there, and I remember going there when I started going to see my dad here in Bastrop, and that place was just so. It was just such another world from anywhere else, but especially from the life I had with my mom and my stepdad. But he told me there. That's where I'd found out. And I already knew, so my mom couldn't fuck me up with this information. But here, since I've been here, there's been 2 occasions where somebody who sees ghosts or something was pointing them out. Like, there was a kid that came with some friends that live up the way, um, the Odoms. He has there's 2 of them. It's 2 brothers, but they have a bunch of kids, and they wanted they let me instruct the kids. They know I'm a wizard. They wanted me to get lay it down. So I went down there for one big party they had. I played the fucking national anthem on electric guitar, like Jimi Hendrix, and swam, ate barbecue, and then like gave the kids the wizard speech. Just told them how the world works and how it doesn't, from like the point of view of, if you want them to know something, that they'll either not believe you, but they'll find out. They'll be like, he said this, he told us this. This is what they wanted me to do for these kids, and I did. And we're still friends with them when I see them. But one of these kids could see spirits and shit, and he was asking, "Who's lucky? Where, who's lucky? Lucky's here." He was describing him, and I've never met him. So what kind of shit is that? So I'm thinking he's obviously he's not alive, and wherever he would be, I don't know anything about it. But if he's trying to appear to his grandson that never met him, there must be something to that. I've got another guy, the guy I call the mid manager of gang stalking, who on the day he come over. This is an interesting guy too. He's maybe my age, maybe not. He's into like real estate, so he looks like a business guy almost. He wears his little blazer fucking thing. He wears this hat. I think he plays music too. I can barely remember because it's been so long. But we had to piece some of these things together. So he come over, and I was telling him about the gang stalking shit, and I was explaining to him why he's the mid manager of this and what it is from my perspective, and why it's not a big deal and it's necessary for me to have this experience. And he got it. And then like I left him in my room, and I took off outside. I don't know what caused this. Oh, I do. he was saying Lucky was coming through the window. He doesn't know nothing about Lucky. I already had the experience where the kid's telling me this shit about him. So he's around and he's like, he's coming in here. He's coming through this window. He's trying to come in here. And I had left, not like running from him, but when I left out, my dad's out there in the garden doing some of his shit. I pass him up. I go out to the road and I catch this guy named Robert. Robert lived not next door, but I think the next maybe either if not the next door neighbor's neighbor, it was one more house. And this guy, I never went over there and talked to him, but maybe twice I caught him and met him. He's walking down the road and he's got these two rocks. I don't remember what he said he was doing with them, but it was connected. He was somehow in this same awareness and was doing it when he was walking. We walked for a period of time meeting each other, and he was asking me, we were talking about Kevin Costner for some reason. I don't remember all the details other than I'm left with only this guy's interesting. He's got something turned on that made sense, and we got that from each other, and it was like, okay, cool. Later came back. I went off the rails. I'm sorry, but a lot of that in the dream, some of that, all that context or weird shit was in with the lady. The lady going because she's dying. She's not even gonna. We're not even gonna be able to do this because this lady's like dying, and part of why she's dying is because this fence she's trying to build up is this defense against this. It's like we represented the awareness of that monster that the woman is, the woman that wants to put her son in the corner and tell him, well, you got to be a girl or you're going to get eaten by the monster. Because that fence was what she needed to put her child against, in a way. Does that make sense? That makes sense to me. And she was dying, and all her medical professional friends that are like trans and shit like this, they're like ride or die with her about this, and it had affected this whole area or something like that. It seemed like it, but you couldn't tell. The thing about it was you couldn't tell at all. She seemed exactly the opposite of all that, and wasn't. And she had listened. It'd be like if somebody was able to listen to your conversations and they knew that you weren't into that shit. You weren't into it. You knew what it was. You knew what it was, mental illness, and that's what burned her ass. It's because it was shining that light back at her at being that person because she had done that to all these people. All these medical professionals were somehow like her children, but like she didn't have any children, and this is how she dealt with it. These were her daughters. It's like something like that. It's so weird, so strange. But that was a dream, or the two dreams, and there you go. I didn't have any dreams the other night at all, which I thought was weird. But I had nothing but dreams last night. Almost barely could sleep. And I guess there was an eclipse, even though I looked it up and it didn't say anything. I just heard my Tuning Fork lady say the eclipse yesterday. So I'm like, what? I don't know. Maybe it was a solar eclipse. I don't fucking know. I missed it. I wasn't going to watch it, but I just wanted to be aware of it. I even looked it up. I didn't see shit. So there you go. Think of that what you will. I'll be back on topic here in a minute.